let's talk about something that I think, David, conservatives and all Americans should be very concerned about right now, but I'm going to really be focusing on it in 2019, and that is the silencing of voices and social media. You wrote an article, "Social Media Idealism Collides with Human Nature." I think that headline says it all. Explain that.
Yeah, so essentially what I'm talking about there is the frustration that the social media companies are now feeling with how their platforms are used, and they're clumsy and sometimes censorious attempts to bring their platforms in alignment with their vision. And so what they imagined was, they're going to create these platforms that are going to bring the world together, and not just bring the world together, and transmit and communicate their values. That, you have these Facebook, Twitter, et cetera, executives, almost all of them uniformly progressive, who believe that these platforms would accomplish progressive things in the world. But it turns out when you create a platform, when you create a true marketplace of ideas, you also empower a lot of voices you don't like, and a lot of voices you disagree with. And particularly on Facebook, it's very interesting. If you look at the top publishers on Facebook in the political context, time and again, it's conservatives. Mm-hmm. Time and again, it's Republicans. Mm-hmm. And that's not what Zuckerberg built Facebook for.
And they have and they've done everything they can to hurt those platforms and to hurt the traffic, trying to, for me, I have 3.2 million Facebook likes and fans and followers, right. And they want me to pay to be able to reach the people who said I want the stuff from him. They're doing everything they can to limit the voice.
Yeah, and the problem is they want two things. They want it all, and they can't have it all. So what they want is to reach every person in the world, and then they also want to spread and inculcate a particular set of values. Well, if you make your platform a value transmission device, you're going to limit its reach. And so they keep on trying to square that circle. They keep trying to say, well, we want everybody on there, but we really, truly only want a certain kind of expression on there. You can't have both, but they flail around often trying to have both, or at least trying their best to limit the spread of ideas that they dislike. And this is a real problem. It creates almost an unbearable amount of tension, because on the one hand, you have conservatives saying, hey, treat us equally. Just treat us, we don't need special treatment. Just treat us equally with other perspectives. And then you have progressives who happen to be, in their peer group, essentially, saying, what are you doing? You're all progressives. You want the progressive values spread.
I think you also have a third group of people that are both sides that look at these really hideous things from anti-Semites or whatever,
right.
And say you got to get rid of them. But the correct answer is I can't get rid of anybody. It's a platform. I can't get rid of anybody.
Well, yeah, I think, and I've been long arguing this, that the correct way to look at this is to not try to reinvent the wheel, but take America's 200-plus years of experience with the First Amendment and apply it to these social media companies, not by force of law. And I don't want Congress saying you have to apply First Amendment principles, but I'd say Twitter and Facebook voluntarily applying First Amendment principles. And core to the First Amendment jurisprudence is the idea of viewpoint neutrality. In other words, if we're a platform, whatever rules we put in place, they're going to be viewpoint neutral rules. We're not going to privilege a point of view and suppress another point of view. We're going to create a marketplace of ideas, and I think that's the way through this wilderness. But because they have not done that, and because they have put their thumb on the scales, sometimes to get rid of really, truly bad people, no question. But because they have put their thumb on the scales, they're opening themselves to endless charges of double standards.
Yeah.
Because those double standards are very, very real.